Hey, Jefi, how are you doing?
I'm great, Ed. How are you today?
Doing great. Fall has arrived here in Chapel Hill, so I got the sweater on and it's crisp and we're loving the weather. And, you know, at the end, fall means the end of the third quarter.
Yes, it does. Here it's a little bit blurry because it's still in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. It's crazy. It's hard to mark time in San Diego, but
it's one season.
That's one season. Exactly. Nice.
All right. Well, I'm excited about this call because, you know, Ed got me hooked onto my numbers on June 1st, which is my daddy's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad, in heaven. Yeah. But yeah, this has been an incredible journey getting to know these numbers. So we're going to rock and roll with this, and hopefully you guys can take something from this where you can really dive into your numbers too.
Right. So again, the point of this, what we like to do is at the end of each quarter, we like to review some of the key stats that every realtor should know, kind of prep those so we're ready to talk to our clients about that. One, just having the numbers kind of handy, and then two, we try to interpret those a little bit. So we're going to walk through that in a 10-minute takedown. So going to be kind of quick. We're not going to explain how we got to the numbers. We've got an episode. What was that? Episode 20?
Episode 20.
The numbers every realtor should know. So listen to that if you want to learn how to calculate it. So let's dive right in. We're first of all going to talk about inventory, which is the number of active properties in our micro markets that we track. And the percentage changes from June 1st, when things kind of started. I guess that was kind of the peak, to October 4th, when we ran our number sets for the end of the quarter. So we wanted to know how those changed. So in your market, Jefi, what was the change? What happened?
Okay, so we're talking about active homes on the market June 1st of 22 versus October 4th of 22. And one thing that's really important, and I've noticed just from being a baby and tracking these numbers, is that even though I'm a micro market, I'm really tracking just La Mesa, those numbers really transfer over to all of San Diego. So because we have two different zip codes that are two different demographics within this area, both La Mesa, the homes cover the range of what San Diego County does. So don't feel like you have to track your entire city. You need to do that when you're taking a listing or working with a buyer. But when you really want to know just a broad overview, I just wanted to do a little caveat on that. Okay, back to your question. Get it back out of the weeds. Get in there. Okay, active homes. June 1st, we had 43 active homes in my two zip codes I track. October 4th, we had 80. Whoa. 80. So that's 100+% increase in active homes.
Yeah. So basically inventory doubled in that period, which is pretty amazing. You know, for my market from that period of time, it went up 56%. So not quite as dramatic as yours, but you've been leading out on this in terms of the changes in the market. So what we're seeing is from June to October, more homes on the market. And what's interesting, you know, I've tracked these numbers for a long time. The historical trend is that the numbers should be lower this time of year than in June, because we're kind of coming through the seasonality. So the opposite effect is happening due to rise in interest rates, right?
That's right.
So
stable market.
So inventory up. So more choices for buyers is another way to look at that. So which is
great, buyers.
Yeah. So that's good news, buyers. So let's talk about homes sold year over year. So, so if we look at the number of homes sold from January 1st, 2021 to October 4th, 2021 versus that same period for this year, what was the percentage change there, Jefi?
So we're 21% down.
21% fewer homes sold.
Homes sold, 21%.
And we're down 28%. So 28% fewer homes sold. Now, again, that's important for agents because that's 21% and 28% fewer commission checks written. That's another way to look at it.
That's correct. And it's a hell of a lot more phone calls to your sellers telling them that their home is still on the market for X, Y, Z reason.
That's exactly right. So we
Right.
expect that trend will, as rates are up, that's going to kind of continue a little bit. That's what we're
Right.
seeing. So
Yep.
that's what we've got there. Median home price. So how did that change
Mm.
from 2021 to year to date 2022? What was the percentage change in price, in median home sales price?
So we're up, that's UP, up 16%.
Which is an amazing amount of appreciation in 9 months, and
I know.
we're up 13%.
Yeah.
And which is, again, for a 9 month period of time, is pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
prices up, inventory up, sales down.
Right.
Right. And then this comes to the all important number, which is the number of months supply, which we just love. It tells
Yes.
you everything you need to know. Jeffy's a
Yep.
big convert. I love her talk track on this. So how has it
I
changed,
know.
Jeffy, in your market?
Okay. So we went from half a month's supply on June 1st of this year, June 1st, 2022, to 1.6 months as of 10/4/22. Now,
Wow.
that's a big uptick, but 6 months, hello, people in San Diego, we're still at 1.6 months of supply. 6 months is a normal market. That's where everybody's just kind of jiving and grooving. Things are going well, whatever. So we
That's right.
still don't have enough supply for the amount of people that are buying,
Yeah.
even though everything is kind of ticking up.
Yeah, that's a really important point to make with your clients, is that, and same here, we went from 0.7 to 1.3. So that's, basically, doubled in inventory. You've had a more dramatic shift, but
Yep.
we're at 1.3 months, equilibrium 6 months. So, we're
Right.
not seeing the sky falling.
Right.
That's really important, because what's reported in the media is like homes slower, largest increase in inventory in record. Well, yeah, because we were working off such a small base, so that's
Exactly.
really, really important. So we thought, like, okay, those are the numbers. Now, how do you kind of communicate some of the challenges to your clients on what they're going to face? The first one I came up with is that this isn't really that earth shattering, but rates and rapid appreciation are causing affordability issues.
Yes.
So we're seeing,
and in layman's terms, that means that if your buyer was qualified for 5.5%, now they're at 7.25%, their buying power has just gone down. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Their buying power has just gone down. And that's what they're hearing, again, from their friends and in the media. That's kind of the normal talk track. And I think that the opportunity for us when we're educating our clients is to say, yeah, but you need to look at some other alternatives that might, or maybe be a little creative, or other products that can help you, help your affordability, like adjustable rate mortgages, like the 2-1 buy down. And we can talk a little bit more in detail about that. But it's interesting. I've got, in the last 3 weeks, I've put 3 buyers under contract. 2 of the 3 have been on ARMs, on adjustable rate mortgages. I hadn't done an ARM in like 5 years.
I know, it's been a really long time because the rates were so low.
That's right.
One of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite lenders is, you buy the house, you date the rate.
That's right.
Because you can always refi. And there is chatter about interest rates going down, which inevitably will happen. But you always say they go up really fast and they come down really slow. So having a creative way, like an adjustable rate mortgage or having a 2-1 buy down, gives you the opportunity to allow those rates to come down more slowly and still be in a good position when you're buying.
Yeah, 100%. And I love that, date the rate, you marry the house.
Yeah.
And they do. They tend to rise like a rocket and fall like a feather. Now, we do think we may see some movement where there'll be sudden adjustments. And that's where a tool like the 2-1 buy down could be really, really effective. And I'm going to give like a 1 minute on that. We have
I love
a more detailed episode, but I reached out to a lender here, Rob Downing of Fairway Mortgage. They have a 2-1 buy down product. And we were walking through it. And the way to think about it is the way the 2-1 buy down works is if rates are at 7%, you can negotiate to where you get sellers paying toward closing costs, and you have the ability to with their product to reduce the rate by 2% in the first year and 1% in the second year. And that's through a concession. So money's set aside in an escrow account on your loan to pay that down.
Right.
So it's there. And what that lets you do is if you're at 7, now you're at 5 for that first year, and you're watching. And if it makes sense to refi, then you go and you do the refi. And then that money that was set aside to pay that difference in that spread on the rate, you get it back. So it's a pretty cool alternative to look into. And again, that was like, you'd go in more detail on that with a client. We've got an episode dedicated to that, but that's kind of a quick
It's episode 17, creative financing. So if you want to listen to the 2-1 buy down on there, that's a really good one. Okay. So I just have a quick question, because I think there's a call to action here for the people who are listening. I would get together with your best lender, and I would take them to coffee or do a Zoom or call them on the phone, whatever you want to do, and get into their brain to get yourself educated enough to have a quick discussion about these things. ARMs, 2-1 buy downs, and any other new products that are coming down the pike that we don't even have on our platter today. Right. But you need to, as a trusted advisor for your buyers and your sellers, because you need to educate your sellers just as much as your buyers to what's happening in loans right now, because that's who's buying your home, and things that might look different or scary to a seller. You need to be able to be educated to have that discussion on what that buyer's doing. So I would definitely dig deeper on that one.
Yeah, I think that is a great action item for everybody, which is, go take your lender to coffee, have a discussion on the 2-1 buy down and ARM products. And then as a good practice, like, go to your spouse or loved one who's not in the business and try and explain it to them.
That's a great one. That's a really good one.
Yeah. So again, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, my spouse, Cody's totally into money. So he'd be like, you're not explaining that correctly, lady. It's really a little bit deeper. It's different than that.
There you go.
Or some people might be like, what? What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Then do it with your kids, like try somebody so
your dog.
Your dog. If they can understand it, you're good. So anyway, that's a quick hit on the market update. Again, this is a 10-minute takedown, so we want to wrap this up. But a couple of ways, we're looking at real numbers and then interpreting them and thinking about how to apply that so that you can be successful with your clients. That's it, everybody.
Bye, everybody.